Welcome back. The European Union Aviation Safety Agency has issued an emergency airworthiness directive grounding up to 6,000 Airbus A320 aircrafts globally until critical flight control issues are resolved. Hello and welcome to this episode of NewsX Deep Dive. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. Today we are exploring the reasons behind this software fix for Airbus A320 and what it means for the aviation industry. Well, let's start from scratch. What has triggered this software upgrade? On October 30th, a JetBlue operated A320 aircraft traveling from Cancun in Mexico and Newark in the United States encountered an in-flight control issue due to a computer malfunction. The A320, cruising at 35,000 feet, suddenly pitched nose down without pilot input, causing a brief but harrowing drop in altitude. The plane was diverted safely to Tampa. Investigators zeroed in on a glitch in the elevator and aileron computer, a key system that translates pilot commands to the wings and tail. Moreover, the multinational European aircraft manufacturer revealed that intense solar radiation can corrupt the ELAC's freshly updated software, impacting critical data bits and risking uncommanded maneuvers that could overload the plane's structure. What exactly is ELAC? And what role does it play in aircraft control? How does it function and why is it so crucial for safe flight operations? Well, in simple terms, the ELAC is the brain that flies the plane safely in normal conditions. That's because the ELAC is the primary computer that controls the elevators, which govern the pitch of the flight, and the ailerons, which control roll. There are two ELACs. One actively flies the plane while the other serves as a standby, ready to take over instantly. The ELAC interprets pilot inputs, speed data, and sensor information to calculate the precise movement of the elevators and ailerons. After evaluating the technical malfunction on the October 30th flight, Airbus has instructed its clients to take immediate precautionary action. Now, will this upgrade be done? Well, the nature of the software upgrade depends on the variants of the A320. The older variants of the aircraft will require replacement of their ELAC computer, but newer ones will need a software update. For roughly 4,000 aircrafts, the solution involves reverting to earlier software versions, a relatively simple procedure taking a few hours. But approximately 1,000 older jets require complete hardware replacements, threatening groundings lasting weeks depending on parts availability and maintenance capacity. Why may this move affect travel plans of millions of passengers? Well, there are about 11,300 A320 family aircrafts in operation, including 6,440 of the core A320 model, which first flew in 1987. The setback appears to be amongst the largest mass recalls affecting Airbus in its 55-year history and comes weeks after the A320 overtook the Boeing 737 as the most delivered model. To make matters worse, airlines are already facing maintenance shop shortages and hundreds of grounded Airbus jets await engine repairs. The sudden recall further strains limited resources during a critical revenue period. How does this then affect India? Well, aviation experts estimate that nearly 400 aircrafts could ultimately be impacted in India. According to the Director General of Civil Aviation Data, 338 A320 family aircrafts are operated by Indian carriers, and they now require a software upgrade to address the potential flight control risk, and more than half have already been modified. Indigo is expected to face the largest operational impact given its extensive fleet of 195 A320 aircrafts, which include 26 A320 CEO, that's 180-seater, 23 A320 Neo, that's a 180-seater as well, and 155 A320 Neo, that's the 186-seater variants. Of this total, 163 aircrafts are actively operating, while 32 are currently parked. Across all Indian carriers, a substantial number of aircrafts require modifications as mandated by DGCA. 200 aircrafts at Indigo, 113 at Air India, and 25 at Air India Express. Indigo, in its latest statement, has said it has completed the required inspections and updates on 160 of its 200 A320 family aircrafts affected by the Airbus ELAC glitch. The airline also said the work on the remaining planes is progressing and is expected to finish within the scheduled timeline. Indigo confirmed that no flights have been cancelled, though some may experience minor delays. Air India said it has completed software and hardware updates on over 40% of its A320 family aircrafts affected by the EASA and Airbus directive, with work continuing round the clock to cover the full fleet within the prescribed timeline. The airline confirmed there have been no cancellation, though some flights have experienced minor delays or rescheduling. Air India Express said it has initiated immediate action, noting that while most of its aircrafts are not impacted, the global guidance may lead to delays or cancellations. How have these glitches affected and impacted global airlines? American Airlines initially reported 340 affected aircrafts before revising the count to 209, stating that most repairs would be completed within 48 hours at approximately 2 hours per plane. In Japan, ANA cancelled 65 flights after grounding A320s, while Japan Airlines, with a mostly Boeing fleet, was unaffected. Lufthansa and Air France reported limited cancellations of 35 flights as well as delays. The October 30th incident was a stark reminder of the importance of robust safety protocols. What checks and balances are in place to ensure that our aviation industry is adequately equipped to handle the demands of modern air travel, including technological advancements and changing environmental conditions? Well, let's take that to Dr. Vandana Singh, aviation expert. Dr. Singh, what do you make of this glitch that has grounded so many A320 planes world over and the impact that it has had in India?
Thank you, Uday, for having me on your show. Firstly, I would like to say that it's better to be safe than to be sorry. And I'm glad that this ELAC 2 glitch was picked up in time, and that the JetBlue incident of October 30th showed that the entire fleet needs to be, grounded, in the sense that there has to be a software update, like you rightfully mentioned, and on certain equipments there has to be a hardware update as well. So first and foremost, that the passengers survived, that the pilot of JetBlue disengaged from the autopilot, took manual control, made a safe landing in Tampa is excellent. That only a few passengers were injured and the rest arrived safely. That is most important. Secondly, coming back to about our Indian skies, travelers, like you rightfully mentioned, as we all know, it's a global impact. First of all, not just Korean Air, ANA, JAL, American Airlines, Lufthansa, all of it, including Air India, including Indigo and Air India Express, like you mentioned, everybody is affected. Now, while we are saying that some are taking just about 2 hours for the software glitch or the updates to happen, and the updates are happening where we are reverting back to the previous software for the ELAC, because that was more robust against radiation or corruption of flight data due to radiation intensity. So obviously, I expect that this is going to take a while. The passengers have to be patient. They have to understand that safety is priority. And I'm glad that EASA and FAA have taken the advisory, which is mandatory directive, that all equipments have to go through a thorough check. And Uday, not just A320 fleet, but also A319, A321, and already you mentioned the Neo and the CO versions both. So Airbus is not taking any chance. And that is most important. And passengers have to understand that there will be certain delays, that certain flights will change or get cancelled. Day before, I was on an Air India Express flight. That was again a similar version. But I know 31 of those flights are getting affected in India as we speak. This is latest information. So all in all, I think safety, there is no compromise over safety and security of human life. And I'm glad that Airbus has taken this initiative, that FAA and EASA has passed out this mandatory directive. So let's see it from there. And I also assume today's day 6, that don't think that everything is going to get sorted out in a few hours or there. It's going to take some time, depending on the logistics of the whole impact. It may roll over to day 7, day 8. It may even move over to 72 hours in certain cases, where also a hardware replacement is required. Over to you there.
Right. So it's not going to, get sorted in the snap of a finger, as you're saying. These things take time. Now, how often have such glitches been reported, Dr. Vandana Singh, in your sort of aviation expertise? How often is it that such glitches have been reported on either the Airbuses or the Boeings? And
Okay,
what causes them? And what
Yeah.
causes them?
So Uday, basically both Airbus and Boeing have different architecture. So even while first we are saying that the Airbus directive, the EASA and the FAA has taken that out, please be sure, please be, we need to know that it's being continuously monitored, and we never know when Boeing is doing its own precautionary checks and its own mandatory, software checks. Because let's understand, Uday, that all the equipments, all the aircrafts are flying in the troposphere level, which is 9 to 15 kilometers or 9 to 12 kilometers above the Earth. So in that, we are looking at anything from 30,000 feet to 40,000 feet.
Right.
All commercial equipments are flying at that level. Therefore, it is important and pertinent that these issues be checked again and again. Don't forget, there has been a volcanic ash cloud from Ethiopia that's just passed with pieces of glass, with sulfur dioxide crystals, and it has passed on. It has passed on in such a way that that could also cause certain radiation. So it could be a ripple effect, and we have to be very cautious about it. These software glitches happen time to time, Uday, and as I recall, of course, this is a 55-year-old history of A320s, but I assure you that these airworthiness directives are happening quite often. Mandatory ones, not so often, but the directives keep coming out. Over to you there.
All right. Appreciate you joining us, Dr. Singh, with your perspective.